Hi and welcome back to another sort of informal, messy FreeFormKnits video. So this is my channel where I talk about all my knitting, crocheting, crafting stuff, and in this video I'm just trying to figure out what I want to work on. I have some whips, not a lot really. Really it's not a lot. I don't know, I just haven't been really working on anything the past few days and it's been kind of annoying because I want to work on things but I don't know what it is I want to work on. So I'm kind of just sitting amongst my crafting stuff trying to think about what I want to do. I did just pick out the next stitch pattern I'm going to do for the last stitch pattern for this 5x5 stitch challenge I'm doing. It's just a challenge for myself where I pick out a stitch pattern, work up something really quick in it and crochet a cowl. Usually it's going to be another cowl this time. And just a way for me to expand my crochet skills because I consider myself a better knitter than I am crocheter. And I think that's just because I've been more adventurous in knitting. So it's just a little challenge for myself. They're all free patterns and they're all up on my blog and they have video tutorials here on YouTube that go along with them. There are 3 other challenges right now. The 4th one, I've actually just finished filming the tutorial. So that's going to be out next Tuesday, depending on whenever you see this. So I just picked out the last stitch pattern that I'm going to be working on. So I think I'll cast that on. It's this stitch pattern right here. It looks really fun and it looks fun but simple, and that's kind of what I'm trying to go for because I don't know what it is that I want to work on. And this is actually, I think this is the only crochet stitch dictionary I have. I need to rectify that. If you have suggestions of crochet stitch dictionaries, I would love to hear them. If you could comment them down below. I have quite a few knitting stitch dictionaries and can find a lot more knitting stitch dictionaries than I can crochet stitch dictionaries. And I don't know why. I don't know if that's like a common thing. This is really the only one I have. I think I got this off of Knit Picks like years and years ago. It's called the Melissa Leitman's Indispensable Stitch Collection for Crocheters. But I'd love to hear of more crochet stitch dictionaries if you have any that you really love. So this is really the only one I have and I want to get more. I'm going to be casting that on. I think we're going to work it out of this scrap of pink yarn, and if this isn't enough I can stripe it with some other colors that I have. So I'll work on that, but there's just something really that I'm like, I have a few minutes to spare. I'm gonna work on this project because I love it so much. I do think that's partly because like I have a pair of socks on the go. I've talked about this. This is this pair of toe-up socks I was doing. It has not seen a lot of work because when I knit socks, the way I knit, I flick my yarn, and these are really sharp sock needles, and so I have a tendency when I work on socks too much to poke holes in my fingers. I'll usually get like little cuts either on the side of this finger or like on the tip of this one, and I did that the other day, so I stopped knitting socks for a while. The cut has closed, so hopefully it'll stay closed because I really do miss working on my socks. So I'm resisting the urge to cast on a new one, like a pattern sock. I have 2 pattern socks I really want to cast on. Both of them are fingering weight. I only have 2 pairs of sock needles, so I can really only cast on one, but every time I think, well, I already have a sock on the go, I don't need to work on another sock. I see, like, I follow the crazy sock lady on Instagram and she has all her sock whips spread out, so I'm like, you know what, why not? Why not cast on another sock whip if I'm gonna work on it? That's the thing. Like, I get in my head that I can't cast on anything new because I have projects on the go, but I'm not working on them. So better to have a lot of projects that I'm actually working on than one that I'm not working on. It's a whole thing. It's just in this little springtime-ish bag. So I have that project, and then I actually have this project. This is going to be a sweater. I'm actually filming a whole like project vlog with it while I'm working on it. It's a new thing for me. It's made out of scraps. It's done in this construction that I haven't really done much, especially in crochet. So it's going to be a scrappy sweater. It's kind of looking very cohesive right now, which I was kind of going for. But I'm crocheting it along with a video I'm working on. So I do have this, but it is color management. It's worked out of, I have all these purple and gray, mostly gray scraps in this bag. So it does take a little bit of planing and, you know, cutting the yarn because I'm only doing 4 rows for each color. So like I'm enjoying these projects. I just haven't been working on them the past few days, and I think I need to cast on new things. It's just what I need to do. You know, sometimes that's just what you gotta do. You gotta cast on new things. It's out of your power. So that's what I'm gonna do. My space is once again a bit of a mess because it always is. So I'm gonna try and tidy up and go through my yarn cabinet and find things I want to cast on. Here was my hold up in casting on a new sock. It's because I was using my other needle to hold on to the second one because I casted on these originally 2 at a time. So I'm going to slide them onto these straight needles I have. I think they're the same size. No, this is size 3. It's fine. It's not going to stretch out the stitches. I mean, it might, but I don't care. This is harder than I thought. I actually have a pair of 1s in these chuggas because I thought maybe I would try to go down my gauge a bit with sock knitting because I feel like I use a looser gauge than most of the sock knitters because it gets the fabric I like, it's enjoyable to work on. I probably should have used those to put these socks on hold. I don't know where they are. I don't think they're even here. Oh, is this it actually? Oh, this is a pair of, this is a 1, but it's like the 24-inch cord. I bought it too small by accident, so I'll put it on this instead. Okay, everything's safe. Use a smaller needle when you want to transfer to put stitches on hold. Suddenly the invention of stitch holders doesn't seem so silly to me. Okay, so now I have a pair of sock needles free. I'm going to do the responsible thing and cast on the other pair of pattern socks I wanted to make. I have to only make 1 because what I'm going to be casting on is a pattern that I completely wrote. It's all ready to go last year. I just never got to test it. That was the only thing. So I actually made half of another pair and I just have to make the second sock and just to make sure that the pattern's good and then send it out to testers. Because that's the only thing I didn't do, otherwise it would have been released. So that's what I'm gonna do with this yarn. This is just a scrap of Knit Stroll. This is a really fun idea I had, just using, like, the socks aren't gonna be matching. They're gonna be the same sock, but they're not gonna be matching colors. So it gives me an excuse to just not have to stripe the socks to you know, make them match, but still, like, they're supposed to be mismatched socks, that's what I'm essentially saying. It makes no sense without the other sock here to show. I have to go find it. But that's what I'm gonna do with this scrap. I should probably wind it into a better cake so I don't get it knotted. I should do that. So that goes aside. I also put all the yarn I was using for this sweater panel in this basket so I can easily see it. Have my snips to easily change color. I'm not weaving in my ends, I'm just crocheting over them. I think I'm using too much of the light gray. I didn't want to do that. So I needed to lay it out so I could clearly see and kind of get it a little bit more stripy and scrappy looking, but without straying too far from what I've already gotten. So I don't know. It's just a bit more. It's such a fun stitch too. It's such an easy stitch pattern. I'm like kind of obsessed with it. But I do need to think about color placement a little bit. So that's why I need to cast on different things because this is just taking too much mental energy to pick up apparently. Knitting project. I want to cast on a knitting project. I want to just knit. I really do. But I don't know what I want to cast on. But what I already have casted on is this sweater. This is the, oh, I don't remember what it's called, but I talked about it in my podcast. It's one of the sweater cardigan patterns I really wanted to make. I have a video about that. It's this seed stitch one. It's just moss stitch until the yoke separate, the sleeve separation, then it's just stockinette. It's a cardigan. I haven't even separated the sleeves yet. It's been sitting unworked on for weeks. I love this yarn. It's this yarn bee, must be merino in the blush color. It's so pretty. My hold up with this is that I really don't want to work on a cardigan. I don't like the idea of wearing a cardigan, even though I know logically I'm more likely like to wear a cardigan than I am a full pullover. Especially in like it's just easier to throw on a cardigan than it is a pullover because like when you get hot you have to take the pullover off, but when you're hot you just throw the cardigan off. I don't know. It's this whole thing I built up in my head. I have this idea of what I want my like style and wardrobe to look like, and then there's the reality of what it actually is. The reality of what it actually is leggings, t-shirts, and cardigans. What I want it to be is more, you know, like pullovers and like cute crop sweaters, but that's just not where I am. So I don't know, it's this whole like, you should make things that you're actually going to wear and enjoy. You should find that balance, and I haven't found that balance yet. So honestly, a part of me just wants to frog this and use the yarn for something else, but another part of me is like, you'll wear this, you will wear this. So I really should. I've taken it out a few times, but I haven't actually worked on it. I think if I start working on it, I'll fall in love with the project, because it is so nice to work on. If the yarn feels good, the needles are my part of my Knit Picks Mosaic interchangeable needles, the size 7, and just this beautiful, I think this is the Radiant wood, or yeah, it's Radiant, not the Sunstruck. The Sunstruck is more wood color. You know what I mean if you stalk the Knit Picks website like I do, looking at the pretty needles and crochet hooks. So I should take this out and make effort to work on it. Another problem, I'm just gonna keep talking about the problems I have and not take any steps to solve them. So another problem I have is I feel like the way I'm storing my knitting projects isn't properly efficient to me actually taking them out and working on them. Like I have this big basket. I've always done this since I really learned to knit. I've always had like a basket that I take to various locations in the house, and in this basket will be my project, there'll be my book, the notions for the project, it'll be like my phone, my earphones, lip balm, lotion, anything I need so that I can just sit somewhere and work on it. The problem with it is that there's a lot of stuff in just a big basket, and the basket gets messy, and then I have to dig for stuff, and then it's just so much work. It's a lot of ridiculousness. I'm ridiculous. So my thing is, what I should be doing is have each project in its own basket, own bag, and put all the bags in the basket and then just take out a project. The other problem with that is that then everything is in a bag and I can't see it, and therefore it does not exist. Or it's just too much effort to open the bag and take it out. It's ridiculous. I'm ridiculous. So I just need to, like, I've tried using these open baskets. Like I have this pretty basket here, I have this basket here, but try walking through the house with 4 of these baskets and have them scattered about, and then the dogs get into them, because if there's yarn, they will get into it. It's all free for them. It's free game. It's just all this little stuff. I just need to get over it, and I need to just, you know, if I want to knit, I want to knit. Sit down and knit. All that to say, I think I will put this in this basket so I can look at it, and I will put it on somewhere where the dogs can't get it. But there's a fine line between where the dogs can't get it and where I have to then go and get it. I'm ridiculous. That's it. Let's just end it there. I have this sock also cast on. I had to cast this on for the tutorial, the Shrio sock tutorial, which is a pattern that is out. I'm actually wearing the Shrio socks right now. It's a shorty sock pattern, DK weight, toe up, meant to help you learn one color brioche. And it comes with a complete tutorial. It has my shortcut heel, work to toe up, which I'm very proud of. I'm very excited about it. And it's actually available for purchase right now. You can find that in my Ravelry Shop. All that to say, this is a sample I had to cast on to film the tutorial. And I don't know if I'm craving vanilla socks. I'm craving something simple and fast. So maybe I'll just take out the one row of brioche and do a vanilla sock. And the pro of doing the DK one is I'm less likely to poke another hole in my finger, because I don't know if this is quite healed yet. I'm just very complicated apparently. Oh, my crafts are out to get me. I don't know. Oh, it's so ridiculous. So I just need to find different homes for all my projects. I have the new stitch pattern I want to do. Yeah. Another thing I'm going to do quickly is I'm going to organize my notions pouches. So I have these 3 notions pouches and then this one notion Sterlite container. I've really only been using one notions pouch because I kind of have just that big basket with a bunch of projects in it. I really don't need to have all of these notion pouches, so I'm just kind of going to reorganize them, and I think I'm going to go back to this as my main one because it's just easier to see everything that I have laid out. So I'm just going to organize these real quick. So these piles what was in each one of my notions pouches. So what I do when I'm working on a project, and I cut the weave in the ends and I just stuff the tails in the notions pouch. and that is why there are yarn ends everywhere and why my notions pouches always look a mess. So just gonna quickly, so much better. So I actually have so many stitch markers. I'm so glad I found them all these tiny little clippy markers, these bigger ones, these really pretty ones that I got from Knit Picks. They sent me these a while back. I showed them off in one of my Knit Picks haul videos. Super pretty, these like clippy markers, but with these pretty crystal progress keepers. So pretty. I have a lot of these. These are like my favorite, these little yarn needle capsules. And then they come with, some of them come with these gold ones with the bend tip. I think they all usually do. And they're like these, I got these, like, these were like my first yarn needles, these big ones with the straight tips. So I really don't prefer these two even ends anymore. I kind of just keep them on for sentimental, because they were my first. Tape measures, and then I have already some stuff in this bin. I have bandages because I constantly poke holes in my fingers from knitting socks. My row keeper, my small clips, my scissors, this big needle to when I want to bind stuff off. It's just my size 11, and it's good to have on hand when you're doing a bind off. Kind of like the default. If I have to do a standard bind off, I want to make it loose. Depends on what size needle you're using, actually, but it's kind of just a good starting point. And I have all these ring markers that I don't have a good container to put them in. I kind of wish this had like a little panel here that I could like section this off, but I don't have that. Now that I think about it, I have another notion pouch type thing. I don't know where it is. Like, it's kind of like this, but smaller, and it came with like a bunch of little notions that I've divided up into my notion pouch, but the container itself had little dividers, so it would be good for keeping my markers in place. So I don't know what that is, but anyway, this is a stitch marker I made, and I just put a key on it for my interchangeable set, so I always have one. Just kind of an easy way to keep track of it. And then I have all these end caps. I can put a few of them in the notions pouch. These are like needle point protectors. I kind of really don't use them much. I did at one point, but just kind of fell out of use. I might throw them in just to have on hand. Another row counter. This is just one of those ones you put at the end of the needle and just twist. I kind of have it on yarn. Just so if I ever need it, I can just put it on my neck. So, but yeah, I gotta finish cleaning this up. Okay, all done. Put them, I just divided the rest of the notions in these pouches. Not like perfectly organized, but if I ever need to just grab a pouch, then I know I have at least scissors and yarn needle and a tape measure. So I have this big wheel of thinner clippy markers. I prefer the thicker ones, but it's nice to have this on hand if I ever need it. So I have that and this nice open notions pouch. Got scrap yarn and my yarn needles, just one for regular projects and one for the yarn needle I prefer for socks, just a smaller one. And yeah, it's perfect. So this has been kind of like a random blabbery crafty video, but I'm glad I got this organized. I'm glad that my basket is filled with projects that I'm kind of motivated to work on. I just need to take them out and work on them. I love all these projects, so yeah, especially I need to try and decide the fate of this one, because I don't like projects laying around that I don't know if I'm gonna work on, so I need to decide that. But I think that'll be it for this video. If you enjoyed, please give it a thumbs up, don't forget to subscribe, comment down below something you are working on. I would love to hear all about it. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Happy crafting!